All right, everyone, welcome to Kailul Kol Shira in partnership with Breslov.org and Sanity Daily, of course. And, there's so many things in this parsha. I know I always say that, but these parshas are full of wonderful information and so many things that we can learn about it, right? The Zohar talks about this idea, Shoftim v'Shotrim Titein l'chol sharecha. And what is the sharecha? They say that the Zohar teaches that really that we have there's 7 openings in our heads, right, in our skull, right? We have 7 openings. We have 2 eyes and the 2 ears, and the 2 nostrils and the mouth. So that makes 7. Okay, so they say the Zohar says that those are the shar, and we have to be very careful. These are the shoftim and the shotrim that we have to put on our especially what we hear, especially what we see, and certainly what we eat and what we say, how we make our brachas and so on. So that's a very important thing from in a personal way that we could take away from this parsha. Did anyone ever hear this before? Rabbi Yaakov, you heard these concepts before? You did. Okay, wonderful. All right, so now let's talk about now. It is also, we have the actual the idea. Really, it's talking about setting up, judges and officers to uphold the Torah law, to uphold the Torah law, not the stuff that they have over here today, right? Yeah, okay. Anyway. So the Rebbe says over here today, "V'shoftu es ha'am mishpat tzedek." So when you judge the people, you're supposed to do it in a righteous way. You're supposed to do a righteous judgment, of course, not to take any bribes and not to take sides with any with either one of the litigants. And you have to listen to the testimony on both sides and then make a rightful decision based on halacha and not based on any kind of prejudice that one may feel, right? So let's see what it says here. Hine kol hamishpatim shebein Yisrael ubein echad l'chaverei. All kind of judgments when it comes to between Jews, when it comes to Bein Adam L'Chaverei, when it comes to Klal Yisrael, and when we're judging ourselves, this is Chodesh Elul, right? We're in Chodesh Elul. This is the time that we have to make a din v'cheshbon. We have to work on it seriously, right? This forum say that this is the time, specifically the Tanya talks about it, that this is the time that the Melech's in the Sada, right? Our Kadosh Baruch Hu is very, very accessible to us right now. And we could take advantage of making that din v'cheshbon and making right for things that we have done wrong over the year specifically. And via doing that, we can come closer to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And then when we come to Rosh Hashanah, we have a better chance. We have a better chance of coming out with a good year. That Mitzvah Hashem Tavshin Pei Gimel should be a year that should be Malei Bracha and Yeshua's Hashem, of course. But what better way is it than if we connect to the Rabbeinu Shalom and we speak to the Rabbeinu Shalom and we talk over with the Rabbeinu Shalom and we make a vidui advar and we talk over the things that we did wrong, and then that'll bring us closer to the Rabbeinu Shalom. Okay, so anyway, now. So when you do a righteous judgment between them, that's an idea of tshuva. It's an interesting concept, right? Why is it a thing of tshuva? Why? He says, because you bring back the situation to its source, right? Someone Ruvain stole something from Shimon. And now they go to Bezdin. So Bezdin hears the sides. And then Bezdin decides to take back, to give back the thing to Reuben. He gives it back to him, and then he has what he was supposed to have. There's a beautiful teaching I just thought about now from the Arizal. We say now. every day. We say every day now, L'David Hashem Oyri V'ishi, right? We say the beautiful kapitel, right? And we say it, you say it twice a day, right? Nusach Ashkenaz, you say it by Ma'ariv and Shachris, right? In Nusach Sfard, we say it by Shachris and Mincha. All right, so anyway, but it's either way, it's 2 times a day. And in there you find the Shem Hashem 13 times. Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Shem Havaya 26, you find it 13 times. So says the Arizal, I think you may find this interesting, that we know that the month of Elul is compared to the Shoshana. What's a Shoshana? A rose. A rose. Says the Arizal that a rose has 13 petals on it. There are 13 petals on a rose. Keneged the 13 Shemas Havaya that you find in the David Hashem Oyri V'ishi. Interesting idea. And then there was just to see that such deep meaning in everything that we do. Right? Who would why we say specifically that kapitel Tehillim? Right? Why we speak about these things? It's so precious because it to help us remind ourselves really what are we supposed to be doing with our time? What are we supposed to be doing with our time? We're supposed to sit in the Beis Medrash. Unbelievable. We're supposed to sit in the Beis Medrash. We're supposed to remember that. So part of the tshuva that we have to do is also on the times that we could have learned Torah and we weren't learning Torah. We have to make tshuva on that. Right? I'm talking to myself and to everybody. We all have to. We have to take it very seriously. So that's tshuva. Because this guy wants to steal from his friend. Interesting what he says. Interesting, right? So one guy wants to steal from the other guy, and it's an interesting idea why Reb Nosson writes over here the gezela and it's kfira. He calls it heresy. Why would he call it heresy? Because again, we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu determines who's going to have what, and everybody has exactly what Hashem wants them to have. We don't have anything more, we don't have anything less. It's rather what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have, and only that. And if I understand that everything I have, and the concept of Kol Ma David Rachmanu L'Tav Ovid, that Rabbi Akiva taught us. There was a teaching from Rabbi Akiva that Kol Ma David Rachmanu L'Tav, everything Hashem does, He does for our good. And if we understand that if Reuven or Shimon has something that the other one wants, he has to understand that really HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want him to have it. That's why he doesn't have it. If Hashem wanted him to have it, Vada, he would have it. There's no question he would have it. But now that I want to take it away from him, that's saying, well, Hashem says that this should belong to Shimon. No. I want it to belong to me. So I'm going to take it from him. No, but wait a second. That's against the Ratzon Hashem. Hashem gave it to him, not to you. So that's how you can understand that this is also kfira, because you're going against the Ratzon Hashem, and that is what kfira is. Kfira is. It's heresy. Okay, sha'osim mishpat emes, but then when they take it to the bezdin, and they do mishpat emes, and they do a rightful judgment, v'tzedek u'mevorin hadin, and they clarify the din. In other words, the dayanim, they listen to the case and they mull it over and they go over what is the din in this case, right? Shnayim orchs and betalis, right? The whole idea, all the things. It's so deep, it's so beautiful. All the dinim of chayshim mishpat. Unbelievable, the depth of halacha, how it goes. And so when they sit down and they don't just take out their own ideas, and they mamish to delve into the halacha mevarin hadin, and then they clarify what the din is. So then, if they're doing that, the Rebbeinu Shalom gives them a special siyata d'shmaya, because Hashem wants that there should be dayanim that uphold the Torah and the values and the Torah law. So when dayanim sit down and they're being honest, and they're not, worried what people are going to say about them and this, that, and the other thing. But they just care about the Rabbeinu Shalom. These are people that are God-fearing people, and they don't care what people are going to say. They care what's right, what the Rabbeinu Shalom wants. That's what Mishpat Tzedek is. That's what it is. That's Mishpat Tzedek. Where I don't care what people are going to say and what the outcome is based on popular, the public opinion. I don't care what I care what the Torah says. I'm going to follow what the halach is. And that's what Mishpat Tzedek is, actually. All right? So that's why it's a tshuva, right? You take the Levakim of Shoshev, is there b'chinas tshuva. What's tshuva? You're returning it. Tshuva is returning, right? We understand tshuva, return to the Rabbeinu Shalom, right? We're returning, we strayed away from Hashem, we return back to the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's tshuva, returning. Tashuv, return. So here tshuva is the fact that this thing was taken from this guy, he stole it from him, right? Or it could have been money, it could have been an object, right? And now it's in the wrong party's hands because he stole it. But now when they go to the Bezdin, and the Dayanim figure out who the rightful owner is, and the Dayanim get a special siyata d'shmaya, is when they're doing the right thing and they're trying to follow the halacha. They get a special siyata d'shmaya. So that is an aspect of tshuva, because they're taking the thing that was stolen from this and he gives it back to the other guy. And that's why mishpat is called shalom. Why is it called shalom? Because he makes peace. He's going to explain that. Why is it called Kamesha Kosev? Emes u'mishpat shalom shoftu. Emes u'mishpat shalom shoftu. When you have emes, truthfulness, with judgment, that's shalom. You're judging the din will bring in shalom, because again, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make peace between the two people. Listen, sometimes there's a mistake. It's not always that one guy's a thief, right? It could be sometimes, someone loaned someone money or whatever the case was, or whatever the situation is, and he forgot. And he just thinks it was the other way around. And he doesn't mean to do anything dishonestly. He just remembers it incorrectly. But then he goes to the Bezdin, and then he believes in the Dayanim, he believes in the Din Torah. And the Dayanim are doing the right thing. So then when the Dayanim make the decision, he accepts it. And now he can have shalom with the other guy that he was fighting with, because now he accepted what they did, because he wants to know what the emes is. And there is the whole idea of shalom, the whole idea of mishpat is to make a peace. To make peace between the two litigants, right? The plaintiff and the defendant, right? Ki yikov hadin esahar, because the din could put that as a big mountain, as a big thing growing up here, right? Everyone's fahitz, they're all upset, blah, 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 blah. And the din comes and the din can knock down the whole mountain and flatten it all out and make shalom. V'achakach nasa shalom beineim, and it makes peace between them. Mishpat emes, true, but it has to be mishpat emes. Kamei shekosov, again, the Rebbe says, emes or mishpat shalom shiftu. Ukishanasa shalom b'neihem. And now once you have peace between the two of them, because they settled it, bein ha-toiveya.
Hold it.
What?
We have an extra word here.
What's the word?
Emes. Mishpat shalom could mean peaceful judgment. It should be judged. But
no, emes umishba. You need truthfulness.
And the word I see addition. The word emes we have on the other column. Not the word emes. This emes and the word.
No, it's the same.
It's the same. To the other column.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the other column. The other column here is right here. It's down here. Emes umishba shalom. You shift the same word. No, so listen. So Yaakov. Okay, you asked. Wait.
Hashem's Torah emes, not just in a parent. We have to go back to the Torah law.
Exactly. Wait, it can go even deeper than that. HaKadosh Baruch, what's the Gemara says? What's the chaysim of Hashem? What's his signature? Emes. That's Hashem. So again, when you bring Hashem into the judgment, that's what we're trying to say. When you bring the emes, which is you bring Hashem into the judgment. And you're not, again, like I tried to, but thank you for clarifying, Rabbi Yaakov. In other words, you're not that you're coming up with the ideas on your own. And I think this is what it is. No, you have to go through the halacha, and which is Torah's emes, which is the Torah of Hashem, which is the chaysim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's chaysim shel Hashem is emes, and through that the judgment will bring shalom because they're judging in such a way with the Rabbeinu Shalom. Okay, does that work?
Yeah, but we have this also in the first column, I think.
Yes.
The other word, V'shorah show. In other words, it's not just the place of from which the item came.
Right, it goes back to the shorah.
Hashem's place. As Hashem that
no, but you're right, Yaakov. It goes back to the shayrish of where's the source of this item? Where did it belong to? Because Hashem gave it to him. Hashem gave this thing. Listen, Rabbi Yaakov, if you have $100 and somebody walks over and takes your $100, it's your $100. Wait. What are you taking my money for? Right? Why'd you steal my money? What'd you do here? Now, so when you go to the Bezdin, now you drag that rascal to the Bezdin, right? You drag him. He gets a hazmana from the Bezdin. He gets a hazmana. He gets an invitation to go to the Bezdin, and he comes in and they fix the thing up. So now everything is settled. It goes back to the shayrish. It's your $100. You get it back now. That's the shayrish. It's you're the shayrish in that case. Your money. Okay. Let's go on, okay? We clarified that now? And then through this, we can make up on high, we can make a unification. We can make a unification between Klal Yisrael and the Rabbeinu Shalom, and it becomes a yichud, lemala. Because whenever you have an awakening down here, there's certainly going to be an awakening up on high, right? We understand that when we do something down over here, and we do it the right way, when we do a mitzvah the right way, when the judges judge the right way, so of course HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so pleased. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so pleased that he sees that we're following his ratzon. So of course HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and gives bracha into the world because that's the Yisarusa de La'ela. He brings to us Ki atayveya v'anitba shehem malva v'loiva v'ki. I'd say the same thing that the plaintiff and the defendant is the same as the lender and the borrower. It's the same idea, right? This guy says, I loaned you $100. And you say, you didn't loan me. They have to go to Bezdin, right? You have to go to Bezdin, right? Which is the same idea of that nekuda that's up on high and the nekuda that's down in this world over here. And again, that's the same idea. The nekuda is the same idea as what we're saying, the Isarusa de la Sata and the Isarusa de la Ela. Because the Malva and the Leiva, they are the plaintiff and the defendant. He's saying what's chayiv to him, what he's supposed to get back. That's like the sun and the moon. That's like the sun and the moon, right? The sun is always giving, and the moon is always accepting, right? The sun is giving the light, and the moon is accepting. Because the chama, as we like I just explained, is the mashpia, is the one that's giving forth the light, and the light of the moon it's not a luminary by itself. The moon is not a luminary by itself. The moon is illuminated via the light of the sun. Without the sun, you would have no moon. Right? So that's what we're saying over here. The Isarusa de la Sata, the Isarusa de Leila, the Nekuda Ilah, the Nekuda Tata. It's all one system, right? In other words, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not giving the light into the world, so then the world won't have any light. So that's why the idea that the Rebbe is giving us over here to teach us, it's the idea of the Chama and the Levana. Let's go get to the next page. All right, here we go. All right. Right now, Bechinas Malva v'Aloiva, which is the idea of the Malva and the Loiva. Bechinas bechinas mekabel, which is the idea of the mekabel, right? You have the loiva, the levan, right? The bechinas malva, the levan who bechinas the loiva. The son is like the malva; he's the one that's borrowing, loaning. And the levana is like the loiva is accepting. He's getting the thing from the thing. Bechinas mekabel, bechinas nekuda tata. Ukeshinasa beinayam, if you kishinasa beinayam, and when you can make between the two of them, hachshasha uketata is zeh bechinas peirit. Whenever you have between them, you have these disagreements, the quarrels between the two people. So then there's obviously a separation between the two of them. Chas v'shalom. Bein shtei bechinas, these two ideas. You don't have the chama and the levana working together. You don't have the bechinas, the sarusa de lasata working with lasusa de leila. You don't have the nekuda ilah with the nekuda tata working together. Therefore, judgment is something very great. And it says in Pirkei Avos, right? We learned this so many times that the world stands on mishpat. The world stands. That's one of the pillars of the world standing is on mishpat. Through judgment, because through mishpat you make shalom between the two of them. And we know that one of the names of the Rabbeinu Shalom is also shalom. Right? We say Shabbos Shalom U'Mavayra. Right? Shabbos Shalom is one of the names of the Rabbeinu Shalom. And then when you make the shalom between them, because you're judging properly, so then of course that we can understand why that's one of the pillars of the world. The Azai Nis'oire Gam Lamala, and then of course you're also making a Cyrus Lamala Kiviyachol up on top. Hayichud bein chama levana. It's the idea of making the unification between the sun and the moon. Bein nekudi la nekuda tata ki hamishpat hu bechinas tshuva. Because the whole idea of judgment is to bring in tshuvas, to make tshuva. And I thought it's a very apropos lesson for right now. Again, this is the month of tshuva, right? We know that we hear the shofar every morning, Baruch Hashem. Right, and then we know that Chazal tell us is Uru Yeshene Mishinaschem. Right, it's to wake us up from our spiritual slumber, to wake us up to recognize, hey, what are we doing with our lives? What are we doing? We're supposed to be Avdei Hashem. We're supposed to do more. We have to do more, and it helps us to put things into perspective for us. So that's why it's so important, and all the different minhagim that Chazal instituted for us are so beautiful. I was learning this morning with the Olam. We were learning the idea of the halacha today of tying one's shoes, right? How you tie one's shoes, right? So the halacha it's a very interesting halacha, right? So the halacha says that you're supposed to put on your right shoe first, and then you put on your left shoe, tie your left shoe, and then tie your right shoe, right? That's the halacha. That's how we're supposed to put on our shoes. And what one would say, like, okay, like, well, really, does Hashem really care if I put my shoe on like that or like that? And the answer is yes. If it's a din in Shulchan Aruch, that's the mishpat. That's the mishpat tzedek. That's the mishpat emes. That's the mishpat emes, right? Like you were saying a moment ago, Rabbi Yaakov, right? That's the mishpat emes, and we have to understand that every letter of the halacha is so important. It's so critical for us, and when we understand that, that's how we can make. That's the way to make tshuva. That's the way to make shalom, and we can make shalom between shalom within ourselves. Shalom within ourselves, because we have that quarrel all the time going on. The Yetzirah, the Yetzirah, do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. But when someone really gets, he understands the situation well, and he works it through. It's not just you have to think it through. It's not just you hear it and you forget about it. No, it's not going to help unless you think it through. You speak it out with yourself. And via doing that, it can become part of you. And then when we hear that shofar, it means something to us. Not some guys, now I got to wait another few more minutes in shul now because they're going to blow the shofar. Oh, and then I got to say L'David Hashem Oyri. Wow, well, you see how beautiful is L'David Hashem Oyri. You have 13 times the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, connected in the month of Shoshana. Unbelievable. So this is one of the ideas that I wanted to share with you for this week. Do you want to say anything else, anybody here, or we're clear? Okay, shkayach everyone.